these feelings was to write it down and stand in front of a green screen and present them to you. So I hope you like it. Generally speaking though, these are monsters that have some kind of passive effect under certain conditions. Starting us off at number 10, it's the Samurai with Sword of the Supreme Skywolf. Whenever the Samurais use a skill, they have a varying percentage chance to enter into a stance called the Sword of the Supreme Skywolf. And it does a lot. It's an empowered AoE damage dealing ability that ignores beneficial effects that would reduce its damage. Man, they have a % chance to activate something every time they attack? That sounds like a passive, which is exactly why they're on the list. But it's not a passive. It's very important that it's not a passive. Number 9. Hrungnir and all of the Barbaric Kings. I don't know why I singled out Hrungnir. Maybe it's because I think in my head he's kind of the most fun, but so under certain conditions, the Barbaric Kings can unlock this sort of passive adjacent state. I really liked this change that added this feature onto the Barbaric Kings because it kind of showed where the game is at in terms of addressing old monsters. This whole 4-star family that was more or less kind of forgotten, well, except for that one weird period where Aegir was just absolutely dominating in RTA. But other than that, they hadn't seen much adjustment in some time, and then all of a sudden they all got this unique berserk state, and I think that that's just great. Now, alternatively, there are also these monsters that do something as if they had a passive, meaning they apply a certain debuff or try to do something on every single skill. It's a little more rare, but Second Awakened Zinc does it. On every single skill, Zinc tries to apply buff block, which might be the hardest sentence I've had to say all week, to be honest. Like, I was actually practicing that line before I started recording. Which makes Zinc indispensable for Steel Fortress. If you have 2A Zinc and you're not using him for Steel Fortress Abyss, what are you doing, man? So essentially, applying buff block on every swing could have been a passive, but he's got 3 skills, so there's no room for that. Thus, it's a fake passive. Prylia is in a similar boat, and Prylia's gotten a lot of attention recently because she's a part of a very successful speed team, including Teshar for Giants. And the reason for her inclusion is that she applies defense break on every single skill. And it gets even better because the one on the 3rd skill is actually guaranteed on bosses, because anything that's immune to stun gets their defense broken guaranteed. So even though she has 3 skills, you could almost imagine her having a similar passive to that of like Lauren or Joltan, where they try to apply defense break no matter what. Similarly, Lyn, the Light Amazon, sort of has a fake passive that says each hit will scale proportionately to the enemy's max HP. Her 3rd skill is particularly great, but the fact that this is on every single one of her skills is why Lyn has aged so well with Summoner's War. The fact that we still occasionally bust out a Lyn for Giants or Dragons or anywhere where we need elemental neutrality plus max HP scaling damage, it's pretty incredible, and it's a testament to the monster. Next, we're moving away from monsters that do something on every single skill, and we're back to the passive under a certain clause. Right now, we're looking at the Dark Yennefer. This 3rd skill is really cool because it tries to do an AoE stun and silence, but it's got a really long cooldown. If only we had a fake passive that could circumvent that. Every time this unit doesn't get attacked, the skill cooldown for that is gonna go down. So if you don't target the monster, you're gonna have a tough time. So that clause at the end of the 3rd skill is something that kind of inspired this list. And a few people have this clause at the end, and one of those dudes that has it is Rakan. While his 3rd skill collapses on cooldown, he goes into this state where he's able to counterattack with a slightly less powerful version of the skill. This is really cool and unique because it isn't traditionally something we see on an active skill. It's something we'd normally see on a passive skill. Like, in a way, it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, the Dark Asura in the way that he counterattacks. But it behaves differently than that because you have to use it first. Fake passive. Number 3 on our top 10 is generically the twins, because there are a few twins that don't have passives. Like Maruna. Maruna's got 3 skills, but she still pulls a twin. Same with Talia. 3 skills, still pulls twins. Do we need to talk about why the twins are so cool? I think we understand why the twins are so cool. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Evan, and today we're going to be doing some more account reviews and progression tips. Let's say hi to folks in chat real quick. JG Blitz, welcome. Private Wings, channel, what's up, dude? Dudano, John, good to see everybody here today. So like I always say, if this happens to be your first time watching account reviews and progression tips, what I usually like to do is hang out in chat channel 10, because that's the number of years that Summoner's War has been around. You let me know what you're struggling with, or if you have any particular question about your account progression, and I will hop on your Sky Island and I will do my dangest to answer it for you. Omni King Goku 603, good morning, how are you? Fastlix, hey Evan, I finally got Fire Gojo and 2 new LD4s. Fastlix always has new toys. Every single time we go live, Fastlix always has something new. Guys, I am 1 crystal away from a lucky magic box. So if you'll let me just do like 1 more rival battle real quick, like extremely selfishly, very selfishly, I'd love to just get this out of the way and then I can buy a magic box. I'm addicted to these things, guys. Every time the surprise shop comes around, they just take control of these crystals that have been burning a hole in my pocket for months on end. I'm not gonna be doing any summoning today though, because I promised Seppi that I was gonna hang on to my scrolls for a little bit, and we're gonna do a cool stream where we have a whole bunch of scrolls together and we summon them. It's gonna be a great time. It'll be very, very fun. You know, you would think I wouldn't come with a question in Asia server. However, I don't know if I can complete TOA normal. I did go to half, floor 43, but I'm hard stuck against 2 Dovers and 3 Eloine. Help! That's from JG Blitz over on YouTube. Yeah, dude, we can talk about that. We can try to find you a team that can clear the floor. And again, chat channel 10, and I'd love to know if your name on Twitch or YouTube happens to differ from your in-game name. Let me know who I'm talking to, just so that way we can have that dialogue on the side as well. Whoa, the chat is flying, guys. My chat is flying. Yes, so I could go over to Asia. I haven't been on the Asia server in quite some time. I do have an account over there though. So if we wanted to, if there's enough interest, I'd be happy to take us to the Asia server and we can check in on some stuff. Because I know we got JG Blitz over there right now. We got John asking for it as well. In fact, why don't we get a quick poll, hands up in chat. Who's on Asia? Who would like me to go over to the Asia server? We'll spend a little bit of time on global first though. Glockugo. Glockugo, that's a funny name. Review this account, dude, that's such a funny name. Holy Lucian, dude. What are you doing that you need so many Lucians? Also, congratulations, these are like premium LD5s. Like these aren't just your average like LD5, these are good LD5s. Let's review real quick. So the name is hilarious. The name's great. Your C3 in Arena, your G2 in RTA proper. 508 days. 508 days played. Man, that makes me upset at my own progression. That's a good point. Michael points out that all these Lucians have transmogs. Exactly, Glockugo is me, which is Bakugo. I knew exactly who it was, dude. That's so funny. That's very creative, actually. Your times are obviously fantastic. A 22-second Giants time is super stellar. That's the sort of thing that I'd like to work towards. I unfortunately don't have a Deborah, so I'm kind of like working an uphill battle here. But like, that's something that I find to be quite admirable. Oh, I don't know if, did you guys see, what am I, you know what guys, I lost my train of thought. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10, Glockugo. Omni Sun Goku says, hello all. Unofficial hymn. Evan, can you help? I'm stuck on the collab boss rush. Ooh, collab boss rush specifically? If we're on floors 1 through 10, if we're on floors 1 through 10, let me show you what I did real quick. I actually didn't do 11 through 20 yet. I haven't done 11 through 20. Has anybody else done it? Clark says, hey, Evan, sister's having a kid, so I can't stick around, but I wanted to say hi. Dude, Clark, I'm glad that you came by to say hello. Congratulations on the niece or nephew. That's so awesome. I hope everything goes well. That's fantastic. I hope you guys have fun with the new member of the family. That's really cool. So here's what I did for mine. Mine's pretty plain and simple. I did just Verd, Ikaru, Rauk, Shaman, Veramos, right? But then when you go to pick this stuff, I picked the block beneficial effects, so that way I didn't need to bring a dedicated buff block unit. You didn't have to bring Zinc, you didn't have to bring like Airgar or anything with it. I think I also brought maybe Slow, Enhance Type, and then Enhance Attack. I believe those are the ones that I did. So if you want to emulate the team, just clear 1 through 10. So this is the sort of thing that I'm running. And typically when I do this sort of content, I try to keep it free to play, just so that way I can have that recommendation ready for people. But I will concede at the same time, some of the best units for PvE in general
are free to play. So it's not I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm doing something hard. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to make it so that it's accessible for you guys. So Verd, Ikaru, Rauk, Shaman, Veramos will clear. Things to note on this, my Verd is built on damage. I actually think he died, but it didn't really matter for the sake of the run. And then we've got Ikaru. I have my Ikaru on a set of fight runes. You do not need to have yours on a set of fight runes. I think it's just more important that he pulls 3 units. Rauk, still runed a little bit sillily. God, I wish I had a better word for that, but you know, doesn't matter. Vero ruined on damage like we talk about, right? Speed, crit damage, HP on 2, 4, 6 slots, and Shaman is ruined basically the same way. Oh, no, he's not. Attack, crit damage, HP. Hopefully that helps. Alternatively, if you don't have the stats to make Ikaru pull 3 units, I think you could probably get away with Crow, though you might want to do a little bit more sustain if you do that. Like, I could totally see you bringing a Riley. The only thing is that you don't really want these games to run that long, but yeah, I think running an attack buff in that slot would be fantastic instead, if you don't have the stats to make Ikaru work. So you could bring like Fran, you could bring Riley, or if you still wanted a team up effect, you could bring Second Awakened Crow. Okay, let's keep moving. Stinging Hammer, could you offer any arena offenses? Let me look at your defense. So your defense, that's fine. That's totally the way it should be, by the way. Let me catch up on chat real quick, guys. Colton, what's going on? Says hi. Sorry, guys, I'm choking a little bit. I realize that what I'm about to put in my mouth right now is the first sip of water that I've had all day today. There you go. First sip of water accomplished. The rest will come naturally. Oh, and this, check this out. I got some pumpkin spice. It's a pumpkin spice little Keurig pod. That's the end of that thought. Let's go into this. So we're talking about arena offenses here. We've already got a Galleon. We already see Galleon, so that's a great start. Bro's majestic. Colton, I should be at school, but I'm sick right now. No, dude. Well, actually, you know, it's all a matter of perspective, right? You know, I hope it's not that crazy of a sick, so that way it can kind of be a nice day away from school. Either way, I'm sorry you're sick, but I'm glad you can be here. And heck, you know, it's like, you know, some of my favorite memories as a kid, I was like homesick, playing a video game, something like that. So hopefully it's one of those times and not like something difficult. You know, I have to admit, I am actually a little bit curious about Fire Yuji's capabilities for arena offense. I actually think that, is that what I said, Tanner? Tanner, that's amazing. Oh no, I'm not, you know what I'm saying. I don't need to defend myself, I stand by it. Sir Caliver says, yo, how's it going? Dude, it's going great. It's going great. I got my pumpkin spice. I got the chat. I got you guys. I got accounts to review. It's honestly going very nice. Just to finish that thought, I actually think that Fire Yuji could have some usability in arena offenses. I mean, if we run Kaki Cleaves, right? In theory, you could also run a Yuji Cleave. He auto crits on skill 3 and he destroys max HP by 50% of the damage dealt. Doing that in an AoE fashion, it's kind of gnarly. It's actually kind of gnarly. Sir Caliver says, I have pumpkin spice too. Let's freaking go. No Kaki is fine, because here's what I think you can do instead. I really think that you might be able to get away with a Fire Yuji. So you could do what I do. You could do a modified version of the Kaki Cleave. So you would run Galleon, or hold on. Let's talk about it in turn order. Hold on. Tiana on your fastest Swift set. Doesn't matter what else you put her on, right? It can be speed, whatever. Oh, but crit damage is preferable, to be honest. If you can get her on crit damage, fantastic. That's great. So Tiana, Galleon to defense break AoE and apply attack buff, and non-hitting, by the way, so it's even more effective. Then you follow up with like Fire Yuji. I did want to throw out one more thing, actually, before I finish this recommendation. Before Yuji goes, before Fire Yuji actually takes a turn, you could do one of a couple things. You could do Julie, you could do Savannah. So that way she defense breaks and pushes back AoE. You could do Charlotte in that slot. Or what you could do is you could have Yuji go and then have Gina go. And the reason for that speed tuning is because then what would happen is Yuji would hit everybody, then Gina would put dots and put everybody to sleep. So that's the idea there. So basically the core of the comp is Tiana, Galleon, Fire, Yuji, and then the last one is kind of up to you. Great, awesome. Let's move forward. Great questions so far. This is really fun. Fastlix, my 2 new LD4s in the profile bottom left. Oh, you know what? I have the light Dekebi Princess. I don't think that's the new one, right? I think the dark one is new for you. Is that wrong? I think you had the light one, if I'm not mistaken. But the dark one and light Yuji, are those your 2 new ones, if I'm not mistaken? Yuna SW says, hey Evan, what's going on, Yuna? Welcome to the stream, happy Wednesday. Do you also have pumpkin spice? I'm talking about this to everybody. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It matched my expectations. It's just like a little espresso pod thing, but it's pretty good. So the light Dekebi Princess, I think she's missing a little bit of something, right? I don't think she's actually providing too much utility to the team, but the amount that she's healing for, in addition to the shields that she's applying to your team, she seems annoying, and that's good. I like annoying monsters. You know where I could see her being good is if you're running her with the Wind Pudding Princess and Lydia. That's where I could see her being good. So maybe I should build her because that's actually what I'm trying to do. You know, that's so funny. Take care. I'm going to pick up my oldest daughter from school. I feel like leaving her at school until tomorrow because I'm lazy. That's hilarious. I won't tell anybody you said that. That stays right here. Stays with us. Hey Evan, want to start doing arena, but I'm struggling to figure out which teams to focus on. So Drix, just for my reference, you're talking regular arena or RTA? Perhaps you're talking about World Arena. I don't know if you're in chat, but maybe you could shout out who you are and just say, oh, that's my account, if this is you. Sir, I am on the global server. Could use help with my World Arena teams. Let's do it. I'm actually thinking about maybe like changing up my World Arena teams too. Yeah, don't worry. Doesn't leave this room. Doesn't leave this room. It stays with me. Speaking of World Arena comps, I've actually been really struggling against Gapsu recently. I realized that what I'm running right now does not do so hot against him. So I'm thinking about, I kind of want to change up the way that I'm playing RTA also. So this is kind of a fun day to have this conversation, to be honest. Because like I am in a state right now where I'm like, I think I kind of want to change up my draft a little bit. Oh, there you go, Drix. World Arena would be good, but regular arena would help too. So why don't we start with regular? Let's start with regular arena. Oh, you know what, Drix? I failed to look at your book. I failed to check your book. I wanted to offer, I can offer an arena defense regardless, but I just want to drop it with that caveat of don't rush into making a certified OG, like actually good, standing on business arena defense. You really don't need, you don't need like a 10 toes in arena defense until you're like really ready to fight for the rank. I wouldn't rush it. In fact, even to this day, I have it's a serviceable defense. It's not something that I like really put a lot of love into. Oh yeah, guys, I almost forgot to talk about the survey. Use command new survey. Oh, I didn't send? Guys, I don't think my link sent. Wait, hold on, let me reload the stream on YouTube. I don't think it's sent. My bad, guys. Stand by. Dude, what's going on? Does YouTube now block links? Dude, something's up. I think YouTube's blocking my links. Oh, look at that. No, JG Blitzuru is also having the same issue. I'm trying to send messages on YouTube, but it says error, try again. Guys, I think there might be something up with YouTube today. This is definitely not an us thing, though. I have changed 0 things. I have changed 0. We'll see. Maybe we'll see what happens. YouTube is blocking me. Yeah, me too. I don't know what's going on. Okay, sorry. This isn't good content. Coming back. This is not good stream content. I'm moving back to the game. I noticed that you have you have a Abellio back here. Abellio is actually a certified like staple of my arena defenses. So we'll briefly talk defenses and then we'll go into offenses. I don't know if Doman actually has much usability on defense, so I'm not going to recommend her yet. I do see you have Second Awakened Darien. Second Awakened Darien is actually a part of my defense too. Tyrannus can be useful, though people kind of expect it. Don't pick Leo, don't make it easy for your opponent. I'm actually kind of against Leo on defense. Here's your leader. This is your leader, right here. The Fire M Bison, Carnal, who's also the Fire Slayer. The functional equivalent is Carnal. You want to run this guy as your leader. 44% HP lead in Arena is fantastic and allows you to do it. This allows for so much like flexibility in terms of running a bruiser playstyle. If you don't want to fight for turn 1, you don't want to do like a counter cleave combo or something, you can just outlast them. You can just outlast them. And I really think that this is the way to go. You could run him. If you're gonna double down on an element, it probably should be fire. And the reason for that is because double Lucian comps are such a staple as an arena offense. You know, people always do like Lucian, Bastet, double Lucian. Leo, Bastet, double Lucian or something like that. You don't want to make their job easier for them, right? So you want to give them at least a monster that they can glance on. So they are more likely to glance on fire than, well, they don't have a chance to glance natively on anything else. So run Carnal and then maybe think about either Veligul or like looking through here, I did see a Vanessa. So assuming one of these, right? Your comp right now is gonna be Carnal lead with Abelio, Second Awakened Darien. You can run Vanessa. You could also think about running a Tyrannus or a Triana in that final slot. I would give both a try for a little bit and just see what you like more. I'm just kind of browsing around to see if you have any monsters back here that might interest us, but I think what we've decided is that. So there's an arena defense. Let's think about an arena offense. Arena offenses are generally a little bit more simple. I tend to default to offering up like the Cocky Cleave, and I really think that the Cocky Cleave is really good. Seppi recommended me the Cocky Cleave a long time ago, and it changed the way that I operate in arena. I used to see arena as like almost a chore, and then when I got to the point of like having that synergy, that comp that I could just kind of take on a lot of teams, it really changed the game for me and I started enjoying arena. And then you can iterate on it from there, right? So you could run a speed lead if you want. I run an attack lead. I use Poseidon's leader skill for it. But if you wanted to, you could totally use like Samath to start it off. Versatile. Hey Evan, it's been a hot minute. Could I get a hand with some units to rune for RTA? Dude, perfect timing actually. We're getting to the point where I think some folks have some World Arena questions. And I was just talking about how coincidentally, I'd like to change up my World Arena teams too. So maybe I could even bounce a few ideas off of you guys. I think that could kind of be a fun thing to do. So if we're doing, so the nature of like an arena offense cleave usually includes like some sort of strip into Galleon to set up defense break and attack buff, followed by big AoE damage. As far as your strip options go, I see you've got Praha. I see you have Juno too. I'm looking in the wind category. You have Cigar, but he's only stripping 1. Oh, there's Tiana. This is what we need. Perfect. So Tiana Galleon damage, and then experiment with a leader. Experiment with either Samath or experiment with like maybe an attack lead or something. You could also use Savannah, technically speaking. I'm not sure about that. If you wanted to go a control option, you could use the Dark Yennefer. The only issue that I see with going control is that it drags out the games a little bit, so you might be less likely to do it. You could use Odin too if you wanted. I hope that helps, Drix. Okay. Let's keep going. So unofficial hymn. Actually, you know what? Real quick, I'll come back to unofficial hymn. I just read ADHD Habit. I don't know what to progress to next. Hopefully triple S Rift Beast. Level 47. So let's quickly provide some clarity on like where to go next, because I love this type of question. I actually think this helps a ton. You're welcome, Drix. I'm anytime. Dude, Hydralski, let me try again. So admittedly, oh yeah, it worked. I don't know what's going on, dude. YouTube was blocking me from posting the survey a second ago, Hydralski. But now we're chill. So we're good about that. There we go. So you've made some pretty solid progress already for having been playing 8 days. Habit, that's wild. This amount of progress in 8 days, man, I am impressed. Look at this, 8 days? Stop, no way, no way. Hold on a minute. Do I play professionally? Sir, that's a very interesting question. It's actually, the nature of that question has a complicated, so I am not by any means a pro player. No, I'm not by any means a pro player. I just work for Come To Us. I work for Come To Us. I've been playing the game for like almost 8 years now. I've been working for Come To Us for almost that long too. That's such a funny question because yes, I do. I guess you could say that it is in my profession to play Summoners War, but at the same time, I'm not a pro player. That was a really good question, sir. Colton, I know we're very close to 300K subs actually. It's gonna be super exciting. Okay, so this is incredible progress. 8 days. I'm so proud of you, but at the same time, it's making me feel bad about my own progress. I did not get this far in 8 days. What do you work for? Come to us as. I'm now on the marketing team at the US office. I started in the community management sector, and so I guess I still kind of do a little bit of that in a sense, but with these, Insight, is that Trent? It's been a while, I changed my name, it's True Titan. What's going on, Trent? I really could use some help. My Julie still doesn't have enough attack or crit damage, and I don't know what is best in the artifacts. Also, what's a good Tessarion siege defense? Whoa, that's a lot of questions. Trent, I got you. I will do my best to help you. So if we're looking for like Julie crit damage, dude, that's it's an out there number. That's an amount of crit damage I don't have access to. If you're talking about like guilds, then it's fine, we can adjust it. But if we're talking like the Abyss dungeons, getting her to like clear a wave on her own, I find that my runes are stretched too thin to make her do that. Okay, not a pro yet, not a pro yet. Let me dip back into this account really quick just to give some advice on where to go next. So 8 days of progress, already have an Abyss hard team for Giants, Dragons, on their way up to Necro. Wild, actually wild. So I think the first thing to maybe do, dude, if this is a consistent Giants time, by the way, I don't think I would change anything, but I do think that I do think that maybe you could be safer if you take out the Fran, the Lauren, and the Spectra, and you were to put in, I normally recommend a second Awakened Shannon, a second Awakened Belladion to replace the Fran and the Lauren, and then instead of Spectra, I do usually recommend like a max HP damage scaling unit. Because if you read Veramos' skill 2, it scales with max HP, and that's why it's so good. You could find his brother Akamamir in the guild shop. You could also run Spectra's brother Shaman, who now has a secret dungeon. Bless Come To Us for doing that. But I think what you should focus on is actually TOA hard. So let me jump in real quick. Because getting to 63 is really good. I think you can do it. Colton, that's a great question. That's a really good question. We'll have to find out. Oh my gosh, you have Raj? Man, this unit is getting so much play at SWC. No problem, Colton. No problem. Thanks for hanging out. This unit is seeing so much play in SWC. They're even getting pre-banned. They're actually getting pre-banned. They're getting that much attention. So looking through your units real quick, I think you do have the makings in here for a pretty good TOA team already. Let me look for a couple staples. I just want to see if you have Tyron. It doesn't appear that you do, so we're going to definitely be using the Water Homunculus, and I think maybe putting him on Despair might be right for you. Anytime, Colton. Thank you for saying that. That's really nice. Oh, Pranuto says, Evan, quick question. Since you mentioned the marketing team, when will the Come To Us store reopen? Are there any plans on updating the Come To Us art book? I'm thinking of purchasing it. So to answer the first part of that question is, if you're looking forward to the Come To Us store's return, you don't have to wait too much longer, actually. It's like right around the corner. I don't know if I'm actually, I don't know if I have an exact date for you, but it's very close, actually. The conversations I've been in around the office, it's actually pretty close by, so you can look forward to that. And it's gonna have a lot of positive changes to it. I think it's generally been really good that they took it down for the maintenance. They're doing a whole like overhaul of it, and I think you guys are probably going to be very pleased with the change. As far as the Come To Us art book, I don't think that there have been any updates to the book yet. Although now that you mention that, it would be really cool to see a second part to that book, because I think there's been a lot of art that's been introduced recently. I could see maybe after like, maybe a couple more like Summoners War original families down the line, or like maybe after a Second Awakening or two afterwards, I could see them doing another. Because like, for instance, the book doesn't include like the Dimension Raid boss. I don't think it includes like the slime boss. There's a lot of content in the game that is not covered in the art book. So to give you a straight answer, as far as I know, there are no current plans to update the art book. However, now that you've said that, I kind of want to suggest it to the folks who are like running the merchandising for the Come to Us store. So thank you for saying that, actually. I'm sorry guys, I know this doesn't make good content, but I would actually like to make a note for that. That's a really good suggestion, actually. So I'm just gonna write it down. I'm not gonna say that it's a guaranteed yes or a guaranteed no, but I'll bring it up because I actually think it's worth revisiting. I love that art book so much. So I mentioned briefly to rune your Water Homunculus on Despair. And I think that's probably the right call here, specifically because I didn't see a Tyrone yet. You can eventually get a Tyrone and improve your team a lot, but without him, you already have a really good comp here. So what you can run is, I do like using Veramos. I think using Veramos is skill 2, just to get that chance at stunning, and at worst, you just get some attack bar reduction. I think this is actually really solid. We'll use, or alternatively, we could use Spectra. You could use Spectra in this slot. Either way, you could use one or both. Then you should probably run Lauren. I run Verd and Rauk. So Veramos, Spectra, Lauren, Rauk, Verd. That's kind of a more aggressive comp for if like you want to have a lot of control, you don't think you're going to get hit a ton, but if you see that there's an opportunity where you could get hit and like you want to play it a little more safe, instead of Rauk, you can run Fran. I actually think that might generally be safer. That comp might actually be able to clear all the way. The only thing that you're going to run into though is going to be the Achromas. It's the double Achroma floor, in which case you're gonna want to throw in a Garo. I don't know if you've got Garo. I think I saw him back here. Or am I wrong? I feel like I saw him. Yes, there he is. Yes, so you should have a Garo built, just for that light Achroma. It's a little bit redundant, but technically it's not wrong. For the double Achroma floor, you should have one of these built. On Vampire. Fast and on Vampire. That's all you need to rune him on. And this guy will clear the floor for you, basically. Okay, so Habit. In conclusion, fantastic progress. And I think TOA is probably the next thing you should focus on. Checking in on chat really quick. Senor Penguin King, I'm just here to promote my mixtape. JK, man, what's up? What's going on, Penguin King? Dude, Penguin King, I saw you were watching SWC on day 3. For reference too, usually I'll have the chat open on the side during SWC just so I can see what folks are saying. But like but I don't always have the opportunity to reply. And $3.99 at best, I have Beth, and that's Habit. Habit, you are doing fantastically. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's clear you've done your homework. You're doing a really good job on this account. Unofficial hymn. I am a returning player after many years. Love some progression tips to focus on and review my island. So you're a returning player. You've already done Giants hard, working towards Dragons a little bit, but kind of taking a pause there, it looks like. Paused on a few of these. That's okay. That's great. You started working on the Beasts. Honestly, if you're going to have one solid team, it should be for Giants. So I'm really glad that you've got the Giants one down. This is something we cover a lot on the stream, but like having a strong foundation of Swift sets, the Fatal Runes from there, the Despair sets from there, like getting a good Giants team is an investment in your Summoners War progress all over the place. Not just in dungeons, I'm talking like RTA and everything. Like the runes that you find in Giants are some of the most relevant runes out there. Looks like you've cleared up to the halfway point of TOA Hard 2. Okay, let's go in and look at this. And you said that you wanted an island review too. Oh, this is really pretty. Dude, are you like a civil engineer? Because this is a very nice layout, actually. You also have what I want to do for my summon portal. This is awesome. I love this. Riven Sue, what? Wait, Riven Sue, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, Riven Sue. Welcome. Is this global? Yes, this is global. That island though, I know. No, for real. This is actually so impressive because a lot of times when folks have like beautiful islands like this, they, you know, myself included, if I were to do this, they'll beautify one island or two islands, then lose steam and the rest of the islands will just be clutter. But you actually really committed to the city planning here. Like this has got to be a little bit of like foreshadowing for what you do for work professionally or something. Oh, what? No way, dude. Oh my God, he's got a Dark Gojo. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God, congratulations. Wow, that's awesome. No way. That's so sick, dude. That is actually so sick. Can you use him in TOA? Can you use this in TOA? That's a question I haven't seen the answer to. Oh, you can use this in TOA? Wait a minute. You actually have a pretty exciting comp opportunity here. Woo, yeah, look at this. Yes, yes, you can use him in TOA. Hold up a minute. Here's what we're gonna do. Man, this series of recommendations just got way more interesting. I had no idea that you were gonna have a Zabala and a Dark Gojo in here. Here's what I think you can kind of run, actually. I think you can do, so you can do Zabala. I'd put him on Swift. I'd actually rune him similarly to RTA. There's no reason to put a Zabala on Despair, just because he's already freezing for basically, I say 2 turns. He freezes for 1 turn, but he puts them on cooldown for 1. That's essentially 2 turns of cooldown, and so they're not going to do anything meaningful on their turn. So whenever I think of this unit, I think of 2 turns of crowd control, if not more. He's got the boost, increases attack speed, also decreases skill cooldown time. This is one of the only instances of this skill, this type of skill in the game that can still target himself. Usually, the Come To Us devs, after these skills sit for too long, they'll go back through and kind of say, okay, but this unit can't do it to himself. Gani had it happen to him, and Shizuka had it happen to him, but for some reason, Zabala can still do it. Super stellar unit. So we'll run him, we'll run Dark Gojo. Those are your 2 crowd control options. And then I wish that you had like, I suppose you could use Crow. I think you'd probably do like Crow and Verd, plus maybe like Lauren. What did I just say? I was literally gonna say I wish you had something, but I didn't finish the thought. And I've since lost the train of thought. It's okay though. I notice you also have Nora back here. There is a world where you could kind of do like a dot team if this is taking too long. So I'd recommend looking into building a second Awakened Sath, but let's not overcomplicate it for now because I think the team that we're kind of working with, I feel like that team can actually clear a lot of TOA hard, so. A Tyrone would help, but we already have 2 instances of crowd control because we've got a freeze here, and then we have a stun and Oblivion here. So I don't think we have to go too crazy on it. I think we could do these. Oh, it was a second Awakened Rauk. It was a second Awakened Rauk because Rauk can reduce cooldown times when he brings people, right? So it's like, I think you could run those 2 units, second Awakened Rauk, Verd, and like Crow. I don't even think you need to bring like a Lauren. You could bring the 2-way Dark Witch as well if you'd like. You could bring Fran, but I don't like Fran on this comp because everybody is going to be like stunned or frozen. So they're not hitting you. So we don't need healing. You know? I think this is the way to go. Wow. I'm happy about this actually. So work on TOA. And I know that for 2 different accounts in a row, I just recommend you do TOA hard, right? And there's a reason for that. TOA hard is probably the most consistent and accessible way for like people at any level to get some of the best rewards in the game. So the faster you can get everything that TOA has to offer, the better for you, for your account, for your dopamine levels, for everybody involved. So I would focus on that and then start building up like a good Dragons team in the background. But you already have the means of making a really successful TOA team. Mahomies, I thought that said Maharaga. Zombie Masher, Evan, can I get an account review? Let's do it. Just plain and simple account review. Playing for 3.5K days. It's a long time. Wow. It's a long freaking time. Oh, only cleared up to TOA hard. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? We gotta make some improvements. A Caliver, no, sir. I'm sorry. I think your message went above the threshold that the chat channel allows. So if you could send it again, that'd be awesome. We can improve this. We can make this better. We can make this better because this is too long in the account to have a 7-minute Giants team. We got to get you farming. Here's what our mission is going to be. Here's what our mission is going to be. I think our mission is going to be finding the units that you can be excited about on this team, and finding direction. I want to find a few units that are really exciting for you. So it's like right off the bat, I actually find Praha to be an incredibly exciting unit. I know that sounds super lame. I love this unit. I think she's underrated constantly. I just got smoked by a Belial in RTA actually yesterday. It was extremely embarrassing. Parjanya, dude, you have amazing units. You have amazing units. No way. Sam, what's going? Oh my God, brother. You're so sweet. Salvi. Salvi, dude. Welcome to the stream. It's so good to see you. Oh my God, did I tell you I hit 75s on the incline bench? Did I tell you about this, Sam? Dude, I hit 75s. My new short-term goal is 80s, brother. It's so good. Okay. Sorry, let me get back to it. So we're gonna find ways, we've got a few units that you can already be excited about currently, and then we're gonna just pick a direction. You know, I've told a lot of people to go to TOA hard. I have a feeling I might tell you to do something similar, but I think we just gotta refine that Giants team a little bit. This is another dope unit. Dude, they allegedly nerfed this guy. They allegedly nerfed him. He's still amazing. He's fantastic. You have a Teshar too. Dude, this account has some summons, man. Oh, you've got Evan. Oh, you got Evan. Look at that. That's sick. Yeah, this account has so many fun toys. We just got to get you the runes to use on them. I also noticed, like, just kind of perusing, you could do TOA extremely easily. Especially with things like, so you've got the Water Homunculus, right? So you could rune him on Despair, kind of like we recommended. You could also use something, you could use Carnal if you wanted to be cool. You could also use Charlotte. I think Charlotte is great for TOA. Yeah, and Talisman was back there. You could use Talisman in Arena Offense, actually. I think Talisman's got a lot of use in Arena Offense. Specifically because you can kind of control the situation a little bit more. I know that Talisman's really cool in a cleave for RTA, but like Arena Offenses specifically, I think you can get even further with that sort of play style. So if you wanted, you could do like Veramos or Jean for the crowd control. In Trial of Ascension hard, you could run Charlotte for more, you could run Carnal for more. Dude, you have so much. I think maybe we might need like a defense break somewhere because this is actually going to be a little bit slow. Marcio says Teshar is better than Charlotte for TOA hard. Chat, I'd love to hear thoughts on that actually. So my reasoning for that, my reasoning that he's not necessarily better, especially with I think the rune quality that this account might have, I think that Teshar kind of like peters out after a while. I do concede that I use Teshar up to probably like floor level 60 or so on TOA hard. I think he's a part of my like kind of pseudo speed team for when like TOA resets. Nah, unless Teshar one-shot. See, that's the thing. He's really good on the way up. So on that early climb, Teshar's amazing. But once you get to that part where you start struggling, I think Teshar kind of peters out a little bit. I think you might want to swap over to Charlotte because she offers that sustained control. She has a soft crowd control on skill 3 with attack bar reduction. Then she also has stun on skill 2. She also applies glancing, so it's like the clapback is a little bit less, right? So I see what you're saying. I think Teshar for damage early, Marcio, is like super stellar. It's just once you start to struggle, that's when he's no longer good. Especially because it doesn't like do like max HP scaling damage. That's the thing that's missing. If he did max HP damage scaling, then he'd be like a no-brainer, we're putting him in, right? But if you can't kill with that skill, with his passive AoE, then that's when he starts getting a little bit rough. Oh my God, you've got an Asher. Ooh, so what I would say is like, after we're done with this recommendation, I would go watch some of the games from SWC because Asher is like an MVP right now. Asher is an amazing pick. It's so much fun. The other thing that I wanted to suggest for Trial of Ascension real quick for you before we move on was going to be a dot team variant. So I think you've got 2A Sath here. And then I noticed that you had a few different ways of applying dots. And I think you could do something like that. So if you wanted to do a dot team, just to make the way up a little bit easier, you could run Second Awaken Sath. You could run Second Awaken Thrain. I don't know if you have Gina. But if you don't have Gina, I'm happy to report that you can easily get one now because she's actually a secret dungeon. And then you run Jean to provoke and like make sure that the heat stays off of them. You can run Tatu, but usually I prefer to run something that's a little bit more focused on applying dots. So Zombie Masher, I think that I would recommend checking out the starter guide for Giant's Abyss after this as well. We've got that on the channel. Scope that out and see what you can do to kind of refine your Giants team. Try to break into Giant's Abyss and finish Trial of Ascension. Versatile, could I get some help with what to rune for RTA? I don't know what else to build. I have a good core, but I don't know what else to build. Dude, the Zeratul, yeah. Okay, that's what we're gonna play with. So Zeratul, Narsha. That's sick. I think we'll go aggressive then. I won't, sir. I will not. What's up, Richard Morales? I posted my map. Good, awesome. Guys, let me get another sip of pumpkin spice. Not bad. Actually, so not bad. Oh man, I'm sure you've seen this too. I'm sure you've seen this already, but Ramael and Judaya should probably be a part of this if that's what you're oh, you've been using a debuff team. Okay, so a debuff team is really cool. I completely agree, by the way, sir. I love the fall season, love pumpkin spice. Dude, my girlfriend and I made like this roasted tomato soup last night with like grilled cheeses. It was super fall. It was awesome. I've been using a debuff team with Layla, Smicer, Tomoe, etc. That's from Versatile. So if you wanted to kind of like change that up a little bit, I would run like Raj, right? Ramael and Judaya. I'd like to kind of just take the letters and assemble a pseudonym. I would run this. It's got a speed lead, and the reason why I'm suggesting it is it's got this focus shot, so it can strip, apply defense break, and then boost the person that you actually want to go first, right? It's a little bit of a boost. 15% sometimes matters a lot. So if you were to run Raj with, hold on, let me see. I think that could set up Narsha, or it could set up Zeratul. Like that actually sounds like so much fun. And then what you would run is something to sustain your damage dealers. I think Gapsu's kind of problematic in a good way these days. So you could run Gapsu. You could also run this, the Wind Pure Vanilla cookie. Dude, the Wind Pure Vanilla is so sick. I think it's a little more limited than I would like to believe, but I love this unit, man. I think this unit's super fun. I'm running it with Lydia. So I find double stacking the reflect damage gives me this kind of like Thorns build. You know, you know that Thorns effect from games like Diablo and other dungeon crawlers where it's like you reflect damage, right? So you have I'm running it with Lydia, so I have 2 instances of reflect damage. So that makes it pretty solid. But like with this, you're healing and you're punishing them for attacking your damage dealer. That's kind of the thought behind that recommendation. So I would maybe think about doing something like that, dude. Ramael and Judaya for the speed lead and the setup, you run them fast. Then it's not incumbent on Narsha to land the defense break. She can just capitalize on the defense break that they already set up. She's boosted so she cuts ahead of people, or you can use Zeratul. And I think that Zeratul with this is really neat. And then you run Gapsu for like a little bit of heals. You could also run the Wind Hollyberry, or I'm sorry, did I call it Wind Hollyberry? Wind Pure Vanilla. I think the Wind Pure Vanilla can be easily taken advantage of, so don't pick it all the time. Like, it doesn't need to be like a permanent mainstay, but I would have it runed. You should also keep your Juno rune just in case. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm absolutely in love with. I think CR is super good right now too. And you know, you could maybe bring Smicer as well. Like, it's not that Smicer necessarily like works well or synergizes with that comp, but sometimes a Smicer can draw heat away from the real problem. Because Smicer's one of those monsters that's so annoying that he's gonna get their attention drawn away from like the Zeratul or something else, right? Oh, no. Oh, guys. Sorry, I hit the bug. I got the bug. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna post the survey in chat real quick. You can follow that. Let me know what you think. I just gotta restart the game really quickly. Stand by 1. So that means, unfortunately, folks, that you're gonna have to send your messages again in chat channel 10. But look at this, you get to see the background. Isn't this so pretty? Isn't this such a pretty background? I really like this. This is actually from a frame from the SWC intro trailer. So it's like, if you've been watching SWC and you're like, where's this from? It's from the intro what's the word I'm looking for? It goes right in front of an opener. It goes right in front of the intro for the show intro. Okay, guys, I'm officially back, and we're going into chat channel 10 again. So, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to send your message again. Yeah, cinematic. Thank you, Aggie. Why was that, like, eluding me? That's crazy. Oh, you did? You did already? Hold on, let me see. I'm a returning player from about 6 years ago, and I could use some help with a World Arena team. Let's do it. Let's do it, dude. F2. Oh, dude, is that Yuji? Are we JJK fans? I guess everybody in chat is probably at least to some degree a JJK fan now. Let's go. No manga spoilers for folks in chat. I am, however, fully caught up. I'm fully caught up on the manga, unless a new spoiler for the next chapter came out today, in which case I am not fully caught up. I'm one chapter behind if that's the case. Sir, as we are a super JJK fan, that's why I'm back. Let's go, baby. Oh my God, dude. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Oh, it's one of my favorites, dude. Of all time, actually. Yeah, I talked to you about it a few weeks ago, and I won't spoil chat. Thank you, sir. That's very considerate of you. Thank you. Let's talk RTA. Let's do this. Okay. A robo. A robo. We could do some robo gaming. Okay. I'm just taking a peek, just taking a perusal of what you have back here. I don't know if you have some more stuff in storage that we might want to take a look at as well, but for now, we'll just go based on what we're seeing here. This, I do just want to note, I'm sure I may have already told you this too, but the Wind Nobara is really good tech against what Versatile said. That comp that Versatile was talking about, that Layla Tomoe comp. Layla is the Wind Devil Maiden, Tomoe is the Fire Own Miyuji. I don't know if I should, just in case people aren't familiar with them. This monster is really good against them. And so what you would essentially want to do is you'd probably want to ruin her on Violent Nemesis if you wanted to use her as a counter. Basically what she does is if she starts her turn with debuffs on her, she's going to drain 15% HP from everybody on the enemy team. This is not a unit that you're just going to slam down as a first pick or a second or third. If you see them going the direction of like a heavy debuff comp, that's when you would pick it. And the reason why we run it Vio Nem is because as they're attacking her, as she's accumulating debuffs, the Nemesis runes are pushing her towards her next turn. And then that chance to proc is actually pretty significant for Nobara, because that means that at the start of her turn, let's say she's stunned. At the start of her turn, she's gonna drain everybody for 15%. Then she procs, drains them for another 15, you just hit everybody for 30% of their HP. Like, that's really solid, but she needs to have debuffs on her in order to make that happen. So just something to keep in mind. This unit's pretty good. Also, Hiroshin also made me aware of the Water Megami. The Water Megami is like actually a pretty stellar strip option because he removes one buff. So he's basically there to just start, right? You remove the immunity. Decreasing attack bar by 50% is actually huge because that is more than Heigang will boost. Just something to consider. So like usually Heigang full counters units rather, that strip on turn one. That's not the case with the Water Megami. He gets around that. Let me catch up with chat really quick. Why did they say Light Megami could be good against Heigang? It's because he doesn't strip. It's because he doesn't strip, that's why. Oh, I think somebody, Dudano answered that. Sorry, I started below. I have Elsharion, it's more like I need help speeding up my run times. Should have specified that, got it. Because runs are like 120 average. I'm newish to the game. I pulled out 120 of my units I have and pulled, but I have more LD units that I can show you. Just lost on what to do, what to farm, and what teams to use for. And that's from Baguette Gamer. We could hop onto your account and scope that out. What's up, the Tominator? Welcome back. Oh, and you've got Zima. So I think if you were to run an RTA comp right now, like if you wanted to start today, I think you'd probably run something close to a control comp. I think you'd probably run like a Chiwu for a speed lead, an opening strip, probably run the Wind Robo, Zima, right? Because Zima's cool because he's the opener. He can strip, he can silence, but then he also provides like some damage. He's also the bombs, right? Then I think you'd probably run something like a Veligul. Veligul is just neutrally good because of his immunity, but it's also declining them a counter to the comp, right? You know, the immunity, the cleanse, you're denying them that. I think if you were to do anything else, you're lacking damage right now. Like from what I'm seeing, you're lacking a little bit of damage if you were to do this comp. You could actually run Helena. You could actually do Helena here because in theory, the enemy team is gonna be fully stripped. And Helena would work really well because you're absorbing their attack bar. So you're keeping them low, you're applying defense break, you're doing damage. The only thing is that now you're super heavy fire. I just recommended that you pick 4 fire units. So maybe you may want to think about something closer to either a Poseidon. I don't know if I'd do Gojo yet. I'd wait for like a balance patch and see how he goes. You could do a Sheer. You could do a Sheer instead, something neutral. Because I just told you to pick 4 fire units and I do not think that's wise. I don't think you should do that. But that is kind of the comp that you're running. So I hope the synergy is kind of coming through. Ultimately just starter with speed lead and strip plus glancing into like hard control from the Robo in second skill, third skill. Zima probably is going right after Chiwu in this example. He's stripping, he's silencing them so they don't have a lot of options. He's providing a little bit of damage. Then Veligul, just neutrally good, little damage, little sustain, and then +1, one more pick. It could be a Sheer to guarantee you get turn 1. Could be Helena if they don't catch on to the fact that you're picking a ton of fire units. Whatever helps there. I think that's probably what you'd want to do. We're back in the chat real quick. I do like the Ashir option too. What other units are good for a Wind Gojo and Amelia for RTA? As in like good support? You could do the Water Totemist. I think her name's, is it Aaliyah? I think it's Aaliyah. Oh, whoa, chat is moving fast. Sorry guys, I think some messages just went below what I'm looking for. Oh, the Baguette, hold on, here's Baguette. Pulled out my monsters, but I have to show you no clue on how to proceed. Dude, you've got some good monsters already, look at this. There's already a Doman front and center. Baguette Gamer is looking for direction. And I think if you wanted a little bit of direction for like Necro, for instance, actually, you could take out the Colleen. I think running Ergar as your leader here, who's the Dark Vampire Lord, I think you might actually have... Sorry guys, I'm kind of choking here. Let me drink some water. Of course, sir. Anytime. Okay. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Running an Ergar for your leader here, 38% attack power lead in dungeons, that is excellent. He applies attack buff for your team, and he also gives you the sustain you're looking for. So what you could do is you could remove the Fran. You could take out the Colleen and the Fran. Just put Ergar as your leader, keep Ikaru on the comp, that's awesome, and then put either Aster, the Fire Magic Knight, or like Shaman, or both. I like both, but you know what? I totally understand if that's not doable. A Doman is fantastic for like PvP content, specifically RTA. So many times you can pick a Doman and they are forced to ban it, or they just don't, or they just lose the game. Oh, you don't have him yet? Need more coins, sadly, to pull him. You know what, Baguette? Don't worry about it too much. Let's see if we can find you a substitute for now then. Let's see if we can find something else. You might actually be able to get away with Lapis. I know that sounds crazy, but you actually might be able to get away with Lapis. Or I think these are all of the monsters they got. You should run Shaman though. You actually might be able to do like, Lapis lead, the 3 dogs, Shaman. That actually might work. So maybe give that a try. I do see that you've got Sabrina here. If you had Talia, that could work too. Just looking back here real fast. Is there an Astar by chance? I don't see an Astar, unfortunately. So maybe that is your best bet. I think your best bet might be to just try the attack power lead there. One thing that I do feel like it's important to just kind of reference though would be, oh actually, and if Lapis doesn't work, just on the off chance that it doesn't work, you can use Shaman's leader skill instead, and then just put Fran in the slot, in the last slot. Make her move first though, so that way she puts on the attack buff. Okay, something that I should say, it's just kind of, I'm inclined to just point it out. Your Necro team is not like necessarily the highest priority though. The only reason I'm kind of going into this is because like I saw that there's a easy kind of path for improvement. I actually think that you have everything you need to improve the team right here. What I would do is check if you've probably already done TOA. If you haven't done TOA hard, I would just make sure you're doing TOA hard all the way up to 100. If you need a comp for that, you can do like Veramos, Spectra, 2A Rauk, Verd, and like Lauren, and that should be able to get you there. You could take out the Rauk and put a Fran for a little bit more safety. Or you could even run Crow. Basically that slot for Rauk is a little bit flexible, or you could also use the Dark Homunculus. You could use Croissant. You could use Croissant. Oops. Let me get back up here real quick. Lucas, looking to get into RTA, and what comps would I recommend? This is great. So this is kind of a new account, right? This is 67. They've been playing for 22 days. This is really fresh. I think that one of the best ways to get into RTA is like using those rotating free monsters, the support monsters. Aries, no, I'm not doing only global. I actually said, guys, should I go to Asia or Europe server next? Let me know. Please let me know which one I should go to. Oh yes, sorry, RTA is World Arena. It stands for Real Time Arena, by the way. That's what the acronym is from. Stay global. Stay global. Europe, Asia. That's so funny. Stay global. Let's take a peek. Really tilting arena. Or it's like I have that podcast version of the stream called Real Talk All Day. That's RTA, baby. That's something that Seppi and I came up with, and we're very proud of it. And the intro voice is voiced by a friend of ours. That's really funny. Okay, let's look at this. So RTA, like I said, I think support units are probably the way to go for learning it, and then you'd want to splash in some of the units that you've gotten along the way. So I would have a Veramos rune for RTA. I think it's a really good, I'd keep Riley rune for it as well. Keep a Verd, maybe on Triple Revenge, something like that. We just talked about how good of a starter the 4-star Water Megami can be actually, and I think that's super true. But I would definitely look at the support list. So hold on one second. So Lucas, let me just show you. So if you go to the World Arena and you go to supports here, right? The Season 30 support monsters. So there's a few from the JJK collab here. But down here are the ones that you'd really want to focus on. So you can use any number of these. They're not necessarily runed optimally, and I've actually think that this addition to the game has been kind of divisive in the community, to be honest. I'm a big fan of it because I actually think the devs have kind of found this nice balance where it's like you can have access to the unit if you need them, specifically at lower ranks of RTA, but they haven't removed the desire to get them. Because basically what you can do now is like you can use them, but you could definitely probably rune them better. You could rune them differently to your liking if you had them. So I think that's a really nice kind of elegant balance that they found. I'm actually like semi-impressed as a player that they found that, to be honest. But I would run these. Like this is really, these are great units. There's a resource for you. And then you just kind of splice in some of your own stuff. That's what I would do. We like older models. The 2014 style design. Okay, guys. So am I going to Europe, or am I going to Asia? Celtic Rowan, Evan OP. You're so nice. Oh, Aaliyah, look at that. We were just talking about that as a support for Gojo, right? We were just saying she works well because she also buffs defense. So another returning player here with tips for RTA. I know we just talked about it. So you have a lot of really unique monsters to pick from here. You got a Pontos, a Wool Young, and a Pater, just front and center. You could do some really fun comps with this, actually. Dudano, is Oblivion important for RTA? Yes, I would say that Oblivion is important to have at least one source of. You'd either want to keep a Tessarion runed, or you'd want to have like an Adriana rune, something. You know, usually it's going to be Tessarion. but so many impactful units have passives, right? Now, with that said, the core, like, holy trinity of the meta right now, which is Chandra, Cigar, Veladjul, there's not a single passive amongst them, right? So I would say that Oblivion is important because some key monsters out there are gonna have it, but like, or are gonna have passives. It doesn't answer the core 3 though, but depending on your rank, it won't necessarily matter. RTA comps. So let's build around your LDs. Let's go over here and check what LDs you got. So you got Pontos, one of the most impactful violent procs out of stun in the entire game. This monster, if you start your turn stunned and you proc out and you have skill 3 up, most of the time you're just gonna win. Like, it's crazy. This unit is awesome. We want him to be faster than this though. So the HP is really great. But like, I think what you're gonna find is that for RTA, you really want him to be on Violent Nem or Violent Will. I would say Violent Will, specifically because you want people to have to go through at least like one extra step to kill him, right? You don't want him to just be able to get like taken out super easily at the start of the game. You want him to have to at least strip, defense break, find the damage, maybe he resists something, right? You know, that's what you want from your Pontos. I love that he's got 100% resist though. That's really cool. We'll probably, dude, Pater's so sick. I think we might have to use him. Look at this. This is actually good speed on the Pater. This is actually good. 158 on Violent and with 31k HP. This is actually really good. I gotta say, those are 2 really solid stats. Look at that defense as well. We have Amduwa. So we're picking Pontos. That's a speed lead. I like the Pater. Byungchul's really cool for a couple reasons. He's got built-in damage reduction, and also like he can strip, he can steal buffs from people. It's really hard to get rid of. Oh, and you got Cigar. Dude, I would pick Cigar with this. So we've already got like double immunity if we're picking both of these. You pick Cigar to reset their strip. You could do Oliver for a speed lead to take control. I actually don't love Oliver with a comp like this though, because he cycles out of immunity and invincibility faster. That's something that you gotta keep in mind with comps like this, right? So it's like, you know, Verd is a great monster in general, but if you pick him with a Wusa, you're gonna find that your monsters are coming out of immunity and shield fast. It's almost like they, you know, it's almost like they never had it. And you're so that's just something to keep in mind. I'd rune this as well. I think Bayek, with your runes, I think you're gonna do really well with him. Like, this is good crit rate, good speed, good HP. Yeah, this is a sick unit. I think you just kind of like rune a Bruise comp. I think you just go full Bruise. Like, you rune up a Chow and a Miles. This is pretty good, dude. Could even do like all the easy big damage sources like Miles and Dom. Like, Miles and Dom both kind of do like a similar thing. Dominic has true damage with his passive. Miles ignores a bit of defense, and they end up looking kind of similar in actuality. So I would have one or both of them ruined in the background, Pontos, Pater. And if anybody else has recommendations for what this account could bring, like, this is a really solid account, dude. You have some super fun options in here. It's like, this is actually kind of crazy. I'm scrolling now looking to see if you have any instances of something that can like decrease cooldown times. Oh, there's a Gapsu back here. Oh my God, you could run a Gapsu with this team. Yeah, that's it. There you go. So now it's like, you run Pontos, Pater, Gapsu, Dom, Miles. It's like, that's actually good. And so the reason why I'm recommending those is because Gapsu keeps your team alive, but he also like can do true damage on skill 2 based on his HP. And so now you have 3 instances of just this hard damage that doesn't require setup. Because that's the thing about Dom, Miles, and Gapsu, is their damage doesn't need a defense break to be good. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Now, I would iterate on this comp. I would try it and see if you like it. It's kind of skewed to go a little bit long, right? Your opponent needs to realize that they've lost before they quit. And it's gonna take you a while to get rid of stuff. If that's not your play style, totally fine, but I hope that you enjoy that. Okay, let's do one more because Wiggy has a similar question. Same thing, returning player looking to get into RTA. We're kind of on a roll with this right now, so let's talk about this. And then I'll move over to another server. I'm so sorry, guys. I know I'm kind of like dragging my feet here to get over there, but we're on a bit of a roll. So let me just take a peek. Let's go all the way to the end. Wow, you have a lot of units. You have a lot of units. the Gapsu back here too. Oh, you got Magnum. I love this monster. It's no secret that I love this. I love this monster so much. SOS Combo says, dang, Evan giving me the cold shoulder. That's not my intention. What did you say? Did I miss a message from you? Combo, I don't think I missed a message. What did you say? My bad, dude. I don't mean to ignore. That's my problem. Sorry, I'm watching too many chats. Oh, I'm Rapones in chat. I'll see if I can take a peek at it, but I would like to move servers, guys. I think I've been spending a lot of time on global. It's not to say I won't come back, but you know. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is an opportunity for kind of like a cool control setup here. So I don't know if you have another AoE strip. Oh, I guess you actually have this. You have Water Megumi. What I'm thinking is you run Zabala on like your fastest Swift set. So that way you can open with skill 2 and boost up the person you actually want to go first. So like if you were to boost up your Water Megumi or your Verisa, let's say Verisa. Verisa is an AoE strip that she applies glancing and attack break. I love this monster. I talk about Verisa all the time. Like this monster was a Hall of Heroes. She's so good. Like she's gonna strip everybody and she's gonna make them do less damage because they're attack broken and glanced. That is awesome. I actually think that's so cool. And you have to be a little less nervous about Verds on Triple Revenge with her because if you glance them, they're less likely to double crit you, in theory. I know that like in actuality, we've all seen that happen, but still. Someone's asking, Knack is saying, Gapsu need crit rate and crit damage? No, he does not. He doesn't. He does not need crit rate or crit damage. Gapsu's skill 2 is just true damage, so he doesn't need to crit. It's crazy. And his skill 1 is basically just a stun. It's just there for utility, just there to kind of be annoying. You can rune him on Violent Nemesis or Violent Will, and then just like go speed HP. Or like speed HP and find accuracy in the substats. That's what I would do. And then on your artifacts, if you look for increased recovery on skill 3, it's gonna increase the potency on his natural heal. Really cool. Very cool unit, and honestly, I'm kind of like on this like Gapsu like kind of buzz right now because I am losing to him a lot, like a weird amount right now. I feel like people have really figured out Gapsu and they've figured out how good he is. And so they're picking him on comps just in a position where they would have picked like a Rakuni seasons back. So like if you don't have a Gapsu runed up for RTA and you're running some kind of bruisery thing, or if you have like Chandra Cigar Velajul, I would legitimately consider running a Gapsu on the comp. Just because he's so annoying. Oh my God, it might just be because I'm in Conquer, I'm in low conk. So it's like, it's not like, you know, it's not like I know what like Guardian 3 is up to right now, right? But like still. Back to the situation at hand. So what I suggested for you for RTA was gonna be runing your Zabala on your fastest Swift set. And the reason for that is because he has an extremely fast base speed of 115. That's so high. So your Swift runes are gonna get way more mileage on this unit than they would someone else. So you open with skill 2, boost up your AoE strip option, and then you run something else that can kind of bring some kind of crowd control. Like for instance, a Taeor would fit really nicely here. Then when your Zabala's turn comes back around, you use skill 3, now all of a sudden everybody's still controlled, and they're on cooldown time, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for. Oh, this unit also strips Aquila, and Aquila also gets a built-in extra turn too to set up, so that way you can like do the skill 2 afterwards. Or actually you can do, I'm sorry, I had it backwards. You do this first, and then you do this. Oh wait, he also gets a turn here. Bro gets a turn all over the place. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty sick. Yeah, and then you can just kind of run some incidental stuff. I think that's probably kind of what you'd want to do with this team. Zabala, AoE strip, and then control, and then that's basically what you'd want to do. Guys, am I staying on? I think I should probably go. Let's just jump over to Asia real quick. I'm sorry for this. Let me just quickly go over there. I know I've spent way too much time on here. If you're on global server, hang out, seriously, because like sometimes I'll answer a question for folks and you might be able to apply the answer to your own situation. Oh, I did just want to talk about a couple things real quick. One, new survey, command new survey if you're on Twitch, fill it out. If you're on YouTube, I just copy and pasted the link. The other thing was there's a Soul Strike stream today and it's gonna be a really cool one. Please come by. It's at 2 p.m. Pacific time. That is in just under 2 hours. So if you're on Come To Us USA Twitch channel, it's right here. If you're on YouTube, it's gonna be on the Soul Strike channel. Okay guys, chat channel 10. Chat channel 10. Let me just redeem that stuff. Chat channel 10 if you happen to be on the Asia server. We'll wait here for a couple minutes. I don't think there's too many people that wanted help on Asia. So if they don't speak up in 2, I'll bounce over to Europe. Does that sound good? Yes, actually, Rivensu. Dude, Rivensu knows, dude. Rivensu will be there. Hey, make sure everyone comes to the Soul Strike stream. Juicy things are happening. Dude, Rivensu, I actually dreamt about the Soul Strike stream last night. I actually dreamt about it. Oh my God. Is it still okay to start a new Soul Strike account, says Sir Kings? Dude, 100%. You should absolutely do it. Zwiggy says, lol. Zwiggy, do you need assistance on here? Did you have a question on here? I just log out, wait. Okay, I'm gonna wait here for 1 more minute. I'm gonna stay for 1 minute because this is the Summoners War equivalent of dead air. I'm not trying to, but you take your time. Take your time, no pressure. Just a little bit of pressure. I have not gone to Europe yet. No, I have not gone to Europe yet, but I would be down to. I'll go if no one else comes. Black Mamba says here, what do you need help with? Let me know what you need assistance with and I will do my best to help. Dude, it's almost 3 a.m. in Asia right now? Well, dude, yes, but also they may not be playing in Asia, but I know that we do have some viewers that are over there, which is crazy if you're up at this hour, by the way. John Wick, I need help finding a core team for RTA. Well, I see why, dude. It would be decision fatigue. You have crazy good units. Crazy good units. So, John Wick, what are you playing with right now? Oh my God, Mole Rat, I would flip. I would flip if we got a Hunter x Hunter collab. I would have a similar reaction to the JJK collab. Because I think JJK and Hunter x Hunter are my 2 favorites, with One Piece close behind. I think those are my 2 favorites. Yeah, wow. Okay, so John Wick, I see why you're struggling finding a core comp, because like with this many options, like I don't know if I'd be able to settle on it either. I did see that quite a few of your units are like, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess counter picks, right? I've already recommended that somebody pick Raj today first, and I actually think that you might be in a similar position. A 24 speed lead and having access to a strip, a defense break, a boost, and more utility might actually be good for you. So let's think about this in the background just while I go and check your LDs, because you did have some pretty exciting ones. You've got a Marna, which is really cool. You've got a snipe option with Oberon. I don't know if we're gonna play snipe yet, but we'll see. We'll see if we're gonna do that. This, I have a feeling, would be good with the Water Slayer, but that's just something to think about. I don't think we're gonna do that. This is what I was referencing when I was saying that it's a good counter pick. Same with Salah. I don't think you can just raw pick a Salah and like have a great game most of the time. So why don't we pick around like Nefties? Why don't we do, you're probably already doing this. Why don't we do Nefties, Layla, Smicer, and if you have a Tomoe, you're goated? Oh, there's no Tomoe. No! Oh, you could do John. You could actually do John and your name is John Wick. That would be really fun. You could play with John. Wow, this would be really, really cool. Yeah, that would actually be a neat idea. So I know that some folks think you're, some would say you're missing like 1 or 2 pieces for it, but I actually think you could, or like you could do Nefties and Amduat with this comp. Then Layla Smicer. Wait, this is actually kind of cool. Oh, Ripper, this is an account, or this is an account. This is a viewer's account. I'm doing account reviews today. I'm on the Asia server currently. I'm just kind of looking around and they're asking for like RTA options. So if we didn't want to do that though, like let's say we didn't want to go debuff. It just seems like a shame to not pick Nefties. I suppose you could always pick a Nefties, Also, this is too much accuracy on your Nefties. Wait, you actually don't need any accuracy on Nefties. Because they can't resist. So you could actually ditch, you don't need accuracy for Nefties because she is the opposite of a Chroma. So I don't know if this is how you have a rune for RTA, but like, Nefties already basically has 100% accuracy because they can't resist. And since they can't resist, you don't need it. That's what I was thinking. The Dominator, he's got her on 100 to counter Oblivion. Big brain. Dude, he's countering Tessarion. That's crazy. That's actually a crazy thought. So, but truly, and I mean this as like I don't mean this as a roast. I actually mean this as good news. You don't need any accuracy on Nefties. You can actually just rune her on like full HP, speed, whatever. Like just make her super tanky and fast. So that way, like she can follow up your strip option and then you can apply a bunch of debuffs. She is the natural opposite of a Chroma. Where a Chroma resists everything, Nefties lands everything. That's how you'd want to think of her. I would just keep Leona runed in the background, by the way, as a counter pick. So I suppose you could pick Nefties and then people can just usually be afraid of her enough to ban her. But if you didn't want to go like a debuff heavy route instead, you do have the means to make a good bruiser comp. Like I see Chandra here, I saw Bellio, you have Velojoule. Velojoule being one of the 3 like big monsters of the last couple seasons. So I would run Chandra, Vela, and then maybe, I'm only half kidding when I say Amduat. I actually think Amduat's pretty sick. And then with that incidental strip, like you could run Nefties, could do Kinky if you need a bruiser in the back. And your last pick, like sometimes pressure from Oberon or pressure from the Fire Cassandra, the Fire Gladiatrix, Federica, these can just kind of like put pressure where you need it and people are forced to ban it. Okay. Ziggy, hi Evan, you check mine in global. I just started an Asia server. Maybe I have better luck here. Really regret not playing for 5 years in global, then I get better monsters here in just a few months. Let me see what you got on your Asia account here, Zwiggy. I don't know if this is necessarily better luck. I feel like I liked what you had in the other account too. I do like that you have Belinus. Oh, I see. You've got these, like, these are good units too. Yeah, these are really good units. But I don't think that it's necessarily better or worse off, I think you could still do some cool stuff over on global. And then Black Mamba. I guess I need RTA as well. Okay, let's look. So sitting at F3, breaking through that like F3 to C1 barrier is actually a really big deal. Like it's actually pretty hard, It's like people like to joke about F3 being the Wild West, myself included. Like you see some crazy stuff in Fighter, right? Like super off meta, like weird things. And then as soon as you get into C1, it's like people know what they're doing, at least to a certain extent. And like it's actually a very difficult wall. Like I remember hitting that and being like, whoa, it's different up here. Versatile, hey Evan, quick question. Before I head out, can you please ask the devs to give people who play on PC a way to zoom out on the island? Versatile, yes, is there not already a way to do that? There's gotta be, I suppose not. I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up if that's not the case. I thought it was mouse wheel though. Oh, Aggie just said a mouse wheel does. I thought mouse wheel scroll did it. Doesn't work for me then. Okay, yeah, see, I thought I was like, I swear I just did that. I was like, I swear I did that like the other day and it was fine and maybe I just didn't notice. Riven Sue says, click control and use mouse wheel. Thank you guys. Dude, I thought I was tripping because I was like, I swear I just did that yesterday because I was just playing, I play on Steam at home. It's really funny. RTA help here. Control option in Jongnam. Jongnam's actually like really solid. Was it Vinny that was using Jongnam in SWC prelims? I would check that out. Check out those games if you want to see some Jongnam gameplay with Chandra. This unit's really cool. Plus Kid. Kid is kind of like a mini version of Veronica, where he like resets, he strips and resets somebody, puts someone on cooldown. It's a really cool unit. So I don't know what you're picking currently, but like Chandra, Vela, Okeanos. Yeah, I would go crowd control for sure. Yeah, your account is definitely, oh my God. Yeah, your account is set up for crowd control like crazy. Nikki too, what, where? Oh my God. Dude. Yeah. This is crazy. With the Smicer as well. So like, let's just talk about units to rune and then you decide which ones you want to run. I would also run, so the Nikki, the Sean, I think Sean is probably like non-negotiable. Oh, if you want damage options, like you have 3 really solid wind damage dealers right here, by the way. Oliver for the speed lead would be pretty solid, by the way. You've got Karnal for a crowd control option, like Velajul here, Jongnam, Chandra. I feel like this is like a really solid crowd control team. Now, if someone, oh, and then I think Praha actually fits into this pretty well because she crowd controls and also sustains. And people just kind of sleep on Praha. And please excuse the pun, that was totally unintentional. But like, I actually think that she fits well into this. I don't think people give her enough credit. And if you see people are trying to crowd control you, you can run Josephine. And am I tripping or did I see Leona back here? You could run Leona as like a counter too. Not that she necessarily hyper counters like control, but like, you know, again, Leona can still get stuff done today. Like she can really get some stuff done. I actually got killed by one semi-recently. Okay, so I think we did that. Let me jump over to Europe real fast, guys. If you're on the Europe server, I'm gonna jump into chat channel 10. Once I'm in there, send me a message. Let me know what's going on. Sasuke! Sasuke! What's going on, dude? Naruto! Wait. Chat channel 10 on the Europe server is the place to be. And I'm officially there, so if you're on Europe, say something in there and we'll make the magic happen. Oh, I got, there's one here. Serax would like to get a review for RTA. Don't know what fits together. Got C1 after 90 days? No way. That's fast. Just wanted to finish C1. Runes are good enough. Wow. Oh, dude, you got a Deborah. You got a Deborah. You got an Oberon. You got the clown to us profile picture to top it all off. Let's go. Oh my gosh, dude, we gotta fit the Deborah, or I guess no, we don't. I was gonna say we gotta fit the Deborah into this Giants team. Wait a minute, dude. This is actually fascinating. So you're running a version of the speed team for Giants that goes without 1 damage dealer. So a lot of times in that slot where Tion's in, people will run another damage dealer. So like Shaman, for instance. That's exactly my comp, is that plus Shaman instead of Tion. But because you're running the Tion instead, you can like basically double boost up the Teshar or double boost up the Wind Homunculus. I'm actually extremely curious about this because that means that you could run like your best rage sets on just 2 units. That's actually such a cool idea. Very interested. I might actually want to employ that. It's actually kind of sick. We were talking about RTA, right? RTA, talking about like how to improve or from there. Ooh, yeah, see this unit seems like she could be kind of cool. But I prefer Minato as a damage dealer option from these. Also this, actually Liesel can really surprise people in RTA. Like if you see someone skewing fire, just for reference, let's read his 3rd skill. So he always crits. It's an auto crit if it's on fire, right? He decreases attack bar and it's 30% chance to decrease defense. The damage increases as the enemy HP decreases. So naturally, you run additionals with this, right? And it hits 5 times. So this is an AoE attack bar reduction with defense break. This is like a multi-hitting Savannah, which is actually kind of wild. So you can run this if people aren't expecting it. If they're skewing fire, you can put a Liesel in and it's actually totally legit. Sir King says, I'll start a new Soul Strike account the moment you start stream later. That sounds amazing. That sounds perfect. What other anime collabs would I like to see in Summoner's War? Dude, I have like quite a long list. I'm a fan of quite a few. I love shonen battle animes, so it's like I'm Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite. I think DBZ would be a natural fit. One Piece, like everything. People have asked for Naruto collabs too, and I think that would be really neat. But for me, one of the others would be fun to see first. I think One Piece or DBZ would be so sick, but that's just me talking. That's me as a player, right? Nier Automata. Actually, that can't lie, that'd be a good fit. That would actually be a super sick fit. Molrat, is there going to be back an in-person greet with you, Evan, at any of the future Come To Us events this year? Oh, so I'm gonna be at, I know I'll be at the SWC events. I'll be at Vegas for SWC, too. That'll be really cool. Yeah, Nier is always down for a collab with everybody. Oh, you know, and I know FMA is too. I don't know if they'd ever do it, but Final Fantasy also feels like it would be a really good fit. Not an anime, and you know, they've got mobile games of their own, so I don't know if they'd be inclined to do that, but you know, just something to think about. I think that'd be cool. So we haven't even gotten past the water monsters yet. Let's keep moving. Sorry, guys. Okeanos has been getting a really good showing at SWC lately. He seems like he's kind of coming back into vogue. You've got Smicer and Cigar. Oh my gosh, dude. Wait, do you have Chandra Vela Cigar? You have Chandra Cigar. Oh no, you don't. You don't have, yeah, Cigar is the only piece. Okay. Could still think about running that. I think you might be in a position to run the Oberon as a threat piece, right? So it's kind of in a similar spot that I recommended the last guy who had an Oberon, because oftentimes it's just pressure, you know? Like, most of the time people don't want to deal with this. Like, they don't want to lose a unit right out the gate, so he can soak up the ban, and that is incredibly valuable. So I actually think that maybe you could bring him, even if you're not doing a dedicated snipe comp, but I would have some manner of threat to show that you want to set him up and kill them. So like, let's say if you were to run like Cigar, Dark Robo, like Smicer. I guess you could do Oki. This is kind of all over the place though. I'd love to hear other, admittedly, I'm having a hard time finding like a coherent like synergy in here with the, with what I'm wanting to recommend. I think crowd control would be natural, like Cigar, Oki, Smicer. This is like consistent, like sustained crowd control with the Dark Robo. So I think if you wanted to do that, like a CC comp like that would just work. And then you just have a flex pick option. But in that flex pick could be Oberon just to pressure people. And if they let him through, you're sniping people, you're ventilating others, and I think it would actually fit pretty well. So I guess there is some synergy here after all. And then if you wanted, Omduat is a little bit gimmicky as a final pick, but he does have sustained crowd control because he can reduce attack bar on 2 skills and he strips. So I think that might be the direction you'd want to go. If that playstyle speaks to you, then you should run it. And then you can also do Minato as a counter pick too, as a final one. But guys, unfortunately, that's all the time that I have for today. I really appreciate everybody for hanging out and watching the stream and coming to the stream with open mind for discussion, and like everybody's having fun. I have such a good time talking to you guys, and I appreciate you being here. If you happen to be on Twitch, please stay in chat because we're gonna raid somebody, and come by for the Soul Strike stream. It's in an hour and a half. All right, everybody, have a great Wednesday. Thanks for hanging. See you around.
Comment down below. Maybe if there's enough of these, I'll make a second one. Starting off the list, it's Leo and Verd. The way Leo's passive works makes it so that he always starts in a game. That didn't sound like the end of the sentence, but it was. He puts a cap on every monster's speed. And what Verd does is he boosts attack bar every single time he crits, and presumably he's going to be critting every single time he moves. Now the result of this is so much attack bar that you'll find you're going to be lapping turns faster than your opponent, who is miles behind you thanks to Leo's cap. And more turns is generally more better, so keep that in mind. Next, let's stick with the Dragon Knight family. Leo and/or Ragdoll pair very well with Vivichel, the Dark Heart Magician. It's notably only Leo and Ragdoll because these are the only 2 Dragon Knights that have Torrent as a second skill. And Torrent has this little clause at the end of it that says if you're below 30% HP, then it will ignore defense. Now, Vivichel is excellent for this because her 3rd skill, which is Song of Switch Destiny, will swap the ratios of your HP and your attack bar. You can technically do this to anybody, but part of the combo is doing it to your own unit. So while normally this could set up some unique little kill scenarios for the enemy team, what it can do for you is it can put your Leo or Ragdoll within Torrent range immediately. That way you can get a clutch little takedown right out the door. Next is Tablo and Jameer, who were the inspiration for this video actually. These 2 hold a special place in my heart because I love effects in Summoner's War that make me feel like I'm cheating, and this is one of those times. Tablo's 3rd skill, Return Dice, resets all attack bars down to 0, and then it applies a speed buff on his allies, and it stuns him. with proper runing, this is going to result in your entire team getting another round of combat before your enemies do. Now, where Jameer comes into play is his third skill, which resets the cooldown times of all of your allies, but it also cleanses.